Hello again. Well, against all odds and perhaps common sense, here's another little ride out. This time we're heading deep into the slightly mysterious interior of the Cheviot Hills. I'm starting off today from the outskirts of a little hamlet called Alwinton, and it's so cold that nobody wanted to come with me this time around. So Susie has told me to get lost, John McGuinness is blocking my calls, so I'm a total Billy No Mates today. Still, you know what, I am used to that. As an aside though, do check out Vertigo by Billy No Mates. It's a great song. Now, the Cheviots straddle Scotland and Englandshire, and without looking into the history, I'm sure there will have been many a grim and bloody battle fought here in the past. It's just got that kind of feeling. Anyway, as we all know, the Cheviots were formed when the continents of Avalonia and Laurentia collided, thus causing much volcanic havoc. Now, luckily, most of that is now behind us. However, havoc and explosions do remain, as the Cheviots are also home to the biggest army training camp and firing range in the UK, and this is called the Otterburn Training Estate. It covers around 90 square miles and it trains around 30,000 soldiers a year. And as we ride along, you can see red flags and signs warning about unexploded ordnance and how walkers shouldn't pick up anything pointy, metallic or ticking. Now, I have to admit that maybe because of that, combined with the low, dark hills and the single-track road, that I'm increasingly feeling a sense of subtle despair and dismay on this ride. There's no mobile signal. It's gone really cold. There's no one around. There's not even any little shops selling Northumbrian fudge and mead. The sheep also seem to be somewhat menacing, and I think they're whispering behind my back. There is a kind of an American werewolf vibe, and the odd feeling that perhaps I shouldn't be here. Still, that's just me, everyone else will love it. Anyway, as you can see, the road is far from cracking from a tarmac and smoothness perspective, but I reckon it's a great ride for an adventure bike. I mean, it's not off-road or a green lane, of course, but there is plenty of gravel to roost through and much fun to be had with skids, assuming, of course, your ABS is switchable. Oh, and I should add that the telephone box we've just passed doesn't work. Okay, so we're now coming up to a fork in the road. Now, on the maps, I thought the road on the right could be taken, but I've just seen a sign saying that it's for farm vehicles only. Plus, the squaddie in the army truck is eyeing me suspiciously. You may also have noticed some guy striding away from the army truck, and while the video doesn't pick it up too well, he didn't look like a normal hiker or soldier to me. He seemed to be wearing some form of highly technical looking gear and a very square and tidy backpack. Therefore, I would imagine he's probably special ops or something, and perhaps he's going to stake out the Northumbrian marijuana fields that we saw previously. Oh my god, he's seen me, full power. So to avoid getting pounced on by either a cow or the SAS, I've turned left, which takes me towards Blindburn, again following the River Coquette, which I think is a charming name for a river. The Coquette has its source in the Cheviots, and it's just over 90 miles long, and it ends up in the North Sea at Amble. Now, I should explain how to get here. So on the A697 between Wooler and Morpeth and a couple of miles outside the village of Powburn, you need to take the road towards Whittingham. This is a nice ride in itself, and Whittingham is a lovely little village. When you get to Whittingham, take the second left towards Netherton. Then the road is signposted all the way to Alwinton, and again it's a lovely ride with freshly laid tarmac. Once in Alwinton, basically keep going, there's only one way out, and Alwinton sits at the junction of the River Alwyn and the River Coquette, which, as I mentioned before, this road basically follows most of the way. And ahead of me, somewhat oddly, is a Northumbrian council van. I mean, you never see these at the best of times, so what's it doing up here? Fixing potholes? It all seems highly unlikely to me. Right, I'm freezing cold now, and as this road continues for many more miles in a bigger loop close to the Scottish border and with no shortcut, and given that I've just heard a big bang and a shuddering howl of lupine anguish, I'm going to turn round and basically leg it back home. As Tennessee Williams said, there is a time for departure even when there is no place to go. But listen, don't mind me, this is a lovely ride through a very sparsely populated place, and it's well worth a visit. Just don't forget to bring your silver bullets, garlic and flare gum. Bye.